Good morning, stampers and crafters. This is my last video coming to you from Florida. I'll be back in Minnesota having in-home classes. So if you would like to come to one of them, please contact me. I will be still honoring place a $50 order by the end of the week, and I will give you a gift value of about $10. Please like and share my video. If you miss my Facebook Live, I'm also on YouTube. Please subscribe, click on the little bell, and then you will never miss a video when it comes due. Facebook only keeps videos for 30 days and then deletes them, but you can always see all my videos on my channel over on YouTube video. Today I'm going to be sharing a little tip with you on our trimmer. You can, when you start getting fuzzies on your cardstock, you can first take this out and flip it around. Down here there's a little area where you can take it out and then flip it around. Put it back in the other way. If that doesn't help, you can take a piece of cardstock, guess I don't have one available here, and you can go right down this track and clean out the fuzzies that are in there, and that should help you. If those two things don't work, then you may need a new blade. Just wanted everybody to remember that so you get more use out of your blades. Today we're going to be working with Words of Beauty, Petal Beauty, and the embossing folder, Beautiful Pattern embossing folder. I'm really stuck on these, and I'm stuck on the paper. The Brushed with Beauty paper is beautiful, and I guess I'm enjoying playing with it a lot. So I'm going to start with this card because there's a piece of designer paper that is like this, and I'm not a big fan of blue. I don't mind blue, but it's not my favorite. I'm more pinks and purples. But I was like, how can I use that? So I challenged myself to use it in a way that I would like it, other than putting it on a whole card front, because that seemed to be too much. So anyway, let's get started. So first I cut a card base that is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, just like the normal card base. Then I cut a piece of Lost Lagoon, because on the back of the designer paper it gives you the colors that are in the paper so you know what cardstock to go to. So we are going to place this on the card base. This is very vanilla, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. I liked it with very vanilla more than with white. So this just has a tiny little edge, and I will post the measurements to all these cards so you don't have to write them down. Then I took a piece of the very vanilla and I ran it through the embossing folder. I really like this embossing folder because it adds a lot of dimension to the piece of paper, but it isn't overwhelming. So we will place that on there, give it a minute to adhere, and then I cut 4 circles. I use the Stylish Shape circles, and this is the other color to the blue, and of course I've used that one a lot. So I'm going to use up some of my edges. I hope you all remember to use those. They work just perfect also. So you don't need to throw them away. You can use up just about everything. Okay, so there we have that. We'll take the backings off. And as you see, I put it on the wrong side, but you get a little time to peel that off. I'm not sure if anybody has ever done that, but I do it quite often. Get so busy putting the card together that I forget what side of the paper I'm using. And as I said, that other side is always my favorite, so I go right to that side. But you have a few seconds to peel that off. There, another tip on how to fix it when you put the wrong side on there. Okay, we're gonna put that right there. Then I cut, I think these were the 3rd, 4th, and 5th sizes. Slide that right under there. Starting to pack up things, so it's like I hope I didn't pack up everything I wanted to use for this. Okay, this one's gonna go up here. I love this sentiment because sometimes we just don't tell people that enough, that they're a great friend. We're very fortunate to have great friends. Then I stamped my from Words of Beauty. I used this label die. I really like it because it has a little edge on there. Makes it a little bit more something something. Okay, we'll put that right across like that. Then you always have strips left over, so rather than throw them, just put them on the inside. You can place them anywhere on there. And I always cut them a little longer so I can cut that off. And then I took the stamp from Petals of Beauty. And I'm going to stamp off. This is Lost Lagoon. Put it right in the middle. And then I'm going to just kind over that. Okay, then we're going to reinforce the fold. And I must have already put them away. Sorry, I must always, oh no, they're right here, right in front of my face, just like they usually are. Okay, these are the Pet Pearls of Beauty, and we are going to place one over here, a couple little ones here. You can put as many on as you like. I haven't used these for a while, so I thought I'd use some. And they have like a taupey color in here and then white. So there you have your first card. I was pretty proud that I went out of my comfort zone and worked with blue. I know some of you love blue and you use it a lot. I don't, but then I made this card because obviously I've been using the other side of this paper. So there again, I am going to show you a little bit of what I did here. So this one is made the other direction. So it's 8.5 scored at 4 1/4 by 5.5. So this was the other color, and of course I was using a lot of that, but we're going to use the Darling Duckling side. You don't need much adhesive because it hangs on pretty tight. All the adhesives that Stampin' Up! Has are pretty strong. Okay, and then because that is, to me, so much and so bright, I took a piece of vellum and ran it through that embossing folder. And I'm going to put the adhesive about the same place I'll put the sentiment. Doesn't take much adhesive to hold vellum down. I'm going to put it up a little bit higher. About right there. And then I'm going to now this is the green designer paper, kind of the whole sheet is green, so it's nice to have that. And with this die, you have to be a little careful where you put the adhesive because it has little slits in it, and you sure don't want it to come through. Okay, we're going to put that right like that. And a lot of times I'll put the brick on, or a block on there like that to hold it down while I'm doing something else. I'm going to take the adhesive off the sentiment. And we'll put it right about there. Now, if you have if the vellum isn't staying down like you would like it, you can take a glue dot and then you can put it right under where that leaf is, and then it won't show through. Okay, then I'm going to use a strip on the inside rather than throw it away. You could also decorate your envelope if you'd like, but it's such pretty paper, might as well just use it. And I would advise not putting that strip too close to the fold line. Ask me how I know that, because when you do enforce the score line, this can buckle if it gets way too close to that. Okay, now I'm going to use, these are the Garden Epoxy dots. Some are a little more clear, and some, they're clear with like a little flower in them, and then the other ones are more solid. I'm just going to put that right there. And there you have another one made. Now for our final card, I saw one on Pinterest like this and I thought that was pretty interesting. And it's back to the colors that I work with more. So first we're going to take, and this one again is 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5 1/2. And we're going to take the cardstock, it's Petal Pink cardstock. It's nice of Stampin' Up! To tell us on the back of the paper what colors everything is, so we don't have to figure it out. Okay, I'm gonna put that on there like that. And then I took a square of designer paper, and the square is 3 by 3, and then cut it on the diagonal. And that way you have your little embellishment for the front. And this one will go right up to the top like that. Just don't get it too far above that score line. Because then it too will buckle. This is the other side of that paper, and of course I used a lot of that. I've used both sides of this one because this paper I thought was the most beautiful paper this year. Okay, there you have that part. Then I took a piece of white that is 3 by 4. This is the other side of that. Adhere it to that. Then I'm going to put some dimensionals on there. I'm going to use up some of these. Put that one in the middle. I always think about these when they go through the mail. They get crushed, so I sometimes use a few more. These I had already cut down, so we're just going to use them up. And then remove the backings. The dimensionals are pretty inexpensive, so you don't have to feel bad if you use more to support it. And a lot of these are from kits. There's always leftover from kits. And then you can just tip them down, see the shiny on there, and you know you have them all off of there. Okay, now we're going to place this right in the center. And then again, I use that same banner, only this one says it's your birthday. And we'll put that across the bottom down here. Then I'm going to use these garden epoxy dots again. I'm going to use this color and put just one right there. You could put white also. Either of them would work. And I'm going to take this strip and place it on the inside. I had many stampers ask me if I thought when people did videos they used enough adhesive. I didn't used to 15 years ago, but our adhesives are better now, and so it doesn't take much. You don't have to put it all over the back. You can just use some. Less is better with most of Stampin' Up's adhesives because they are so strong. So there you have it. Different colors, pretty cards, different sentiments. And please don't forget to send out your cards. That's why you make them, is to use them and make somebody smile today. Well, until next week, happy stamping. I'll be back in Minnesota. Have a great day.